This truck colliding with a bus full of passengers, and schools now closed in Boston as the storm barrels north. Rob has the very latest.
Key vote. Democrats plan to approve their impeachment report just hours away from releasing it publicly. And Republicans already firing back. This as President Trump prepares to meet with NATO leaders, and the Queen in London threatens new tariffs targeting French wine.
Breaking news. Former President Jimmy Carter hospitalized again, just days after being released following a brain operation. We're live outside the hospital with the latest.
The investigation right now after actress Gabrielle Union claims she was fired from America's Got Talent because she complained of racism and a toxic work environment. Now the show's former star Howard Stern coming to her defense.
Travel Tuesday. Why today is the day to score the best deals on your next vacation.
And fighting porch pirates on the heels of a record Cyber Monday. The new ways to protect your packages with doorbell cams, dummy boxes, even booby traps.
Touch this.
Live in Times Square, this is Good Morning America.
Good morning, America. Hope you're well this Tuesday morning, that all your packages are safe and inside.
Well, there was a record $9.2 billion spent on Cyber Monday, and a lot of people are worried about what will happen to their packages, George.
Okay, so we're going to have some solutions about that ahead for everybody. But first, we're going to begin with that deadly storm still hitting the Northeast, dropping up to 2 feet of snow in some areas, causing, as you can imagine, major accidents. At this hour, the storm is targeting New England. Gio Meditez starts us off from there in Boston. Good morning, Gio.
Hey, Robin, good morning to you. Yeah, we are feeling the strongest parts of this storm right now here in Boston. And, you know, here in Boston, in this part of Massachusetts, we've been seeing areas in other parts of Massachusetts that have seen more than a foot of snow. I want to show you what's going on here. Let's take a look at our wide-angle camera, and you can start seeing this blowing snow because on top of this falling snow, we have these strong wind gusts. This is actually that very famous Copley Square here in Boston, and this is usually packed with commuters, not today. So much of the Northeast seeing whiteout conditions. This morning, state of emergency as a massive snowstorm slams the Northeast. The New York State Thruway closing all lanes overnight after a truck and bus carrying 30 passengers collided in Columbia County. New York State police say all passengers declined medical attention when emergency crews arrived on scene. Governor Cuomo mandating a state of emergency in 7 New York counties.
We're also going to call out 300 National Guardsmen to be deployed in these 7 counties where we need the most assistance.
Albany bearing the brunt of the long-lasting nor'easter as stalled cars litter I-90. This guardrail the only thing keeping this massive semi from tumbling down the hill. Neighborhoods and vehicles completely buried under several feet of snow. In Syracuse, crews working around the clock to clear the hazardous roadways. Plow trucks moving mounds of snow out of the way. The Big Apple also getting a taste of this latest winter storm. And in New Jersey, power outages across the state. Utility companies reporting as many as 35,000 outages. In Massachusetts, residents attempting to clean up. This strip mall parking lot turned into a winter desert. And so here in Massachusetts, hundreds of schools have already been closed, and officials are saying if you don't need to be out, don't do it, because we're seeing so many accidents on the roads across the Northeast. So just don't go out if you don't need to. And apparently a lot of people are heeding that warning. Michael?
All right, thank you so much, Gio. As you're outside, we're going to go inside to Rob, who has the latest on where the storm is heading and when. Good morning, Rob.
Good morning, Michael. And just inland is where the snow is really piling up. This is about an hour west of Boston, over a foot of snow falling in Worcester. This is a heavy snow. It's right around the freezing mark, so snow plows out. Digging out of this has been a headache as well. Albany seeing over 20 inches of snow. That's the biggest snowfall event they've had since 2003. Now this coast-to-coast storm is a nor'easter, and we're seeing eastern New England really get peppered with the snow. This will last for a good afternoon. Winter storm warnings are posted. So let's talk about this. Boston, you could see another 2 to 4 inches of snow. Gio mentioned the winds, 40-mile-per-hour winds there. New York City, we'll see gusts as well. But for the most part, the snow is over here in New York City. It'll be over in Boston after lunchtime, but winding up in Maine with snows continuing through tonight, finally ending late tonight. But temperatures will be below freezing, so roads tomorrow morning will be slick. Robin?
Got to keep that in mind. Okay, Rob. As the impeachment showdown plays out, President Trump is in London for a high-stakes NATO summit, preparing to meet with the Queen and our allies. And tensions are running high over Brexit and a possible trade war between the U.S. and France. Chief White House correspondent John Carl is there in London with more. Good morning, John.
Good morning, Robin. President Trump kicked off his meetings here in London with a freewheeling impromptu press conference and some harsh words for French President Emmanuel Macron. This morning, the president turned what was supposed to be a quick photo op with the head of NATO into a nearly hour-long press conference. Asked about recent comments by French President Macron that NATO is becoming brain dead, he hit back hard.
Very, very nasty statement to essentially 28, including them, 28 countries. You just can't go around making statements like that about NATO. It's very disrespectful.
In the past, President Trump has boasted of his warm relationship with Macron and has had his own harsh words towards NATO.
NATO is obsolete, it's old, it's fat, it's sloppy.
Trump administration is now threatening tariffs of up to 100% on $2.4 billion worth of French imports, including wine, cheese, and handbags.
They're starting to tax other people's products, so therefore we go and tax them.
The new tariffs are retaliation against new French taxes targeting U.S. tech companies like Apple and Google.
I'm not in love with those companies. I want to tax those companies. They're not going to be taxed by France. If anyone's going to take advantage of the American companies, it's going to be us.
The president also suggested he may defer a trade deal with China, comments that sent stock futures sinking.
In some ways, I like the idea of waiting till after the election for the China deal. But they want to make a deal now, and we'll see.
As President Trump takes the world stage, the drive by House Democrats towards impeachment is clearly on his mind.
I think it's very unpatriotic of the Democrats to put on a performance where they do that. Does it cast a cloud? Well, if it does, then the Democrats have done a very great disservice to the country.
Later today, President Trump has a one-on-one meeting with President Macron. Given his comments today and the threat of a new trade war with France, it should be quite a meeting. George?
Boy, it sure should be. Okay, John, thanks very much. As you said, it's a critical day for impeachment on Capitol Hill. The House Intelligence Committee will release its report making the case against President Trump before sending it to the House Judiciary Committee for their first hearings tomorrow. Our senior congressional correspondent, Mary Bruce, is tracking the latest on Capitol Hill. Good morning, Mary.
Good morning, George. Well, Democrats on the House Intelligence Committee this morning are putting the finishing touches on this report that is likely to be the basis for their impeachment case against the president. The public will get a look at it later today. We are told it's roughly 175 pages and is likely to conclude that the president abused his power by pressuring Ukraine to investigate his rivals to try and get an advantage in the 2020 election. It is also likely to outline evidence of obstruction, which Democrats have said is overwhelming.
And Mary, ahead of this, we've seen the first Republican pre-buttal overnight also, and it defends the president, holds the line with the president, even though it's at odds with much of the witness testimony.
Yeah, George, Republicans are picking over this same evidence to try and defend the president. They have released their own report, which is dismissing much of the witness testimony so far as hearsay and presumption. They argue that the president was acting out of valid concerns in Ukraine, and they note that there's no specific evidence that the president was trying to benefit himself in the 2020 election. Democratic Chairman Adam Schiff, though, not surprisingly, says the Republicans are ignoring much of the evidence. He has said that the Republican report is, quote, intended for an audience of one, that one person being the president.
And Mary, phase 2 begins tomorrow in the House Judiciary Committee. That first hearing could be fiery.
It could be fiery, but it is also expected to be a bit of a civics lesson on impeachment. The witnesses are all legal scholars. They're going to be examining the high crimes and misdemeanors outlined in the Constitution, but this could be quite feisty. This hearing and this committee include some of the president's fiercest defenders. They are ready for a fight here tomorrow. In fact, George, both sides are holding mock hearings here later today.
Mary Bruce, thanks very much. Michael?
All right, thank you, George. We have the latest now on Jimmy Carter. The 95-year-old former president is back in the hospital this morning to treat an infection just days after a separate procedure on his brain. Steve Osensami is outside the hospital in Americus, Georgia. Good morning, Steve.
Good morning to you, Michael. You know, we should underline that President Carter, of course, is 95, but he's being treated here at his local hospital, the hospital closest to his home. For more serious treatments and serious health issues, he's usually treated at Emory University Hospital in Atlanta. In a statement, his spokesperson says that he was admitted here in Americus this past weekend to treat a UTI. They say that, quote, he's feeling better and looks forward to returning home soon. Last week, doctors at Emory in Atlanta sent him home to enjoy Thanksgiving dinner after a risky surgery to reduce pressure on his brain that had built up after a number of recent falls. One of those falls that he actually suffered a black eye, but continued true to form to Nashville, where he then helped build houses for Habitat for Humanity. Everyone here, of course, is looking forward to his speedy recovery. Rob.
As are we, Steve. Thank you. Now to New Orleans and the search for the gunman who wounded 10 people on a crowded street in the French Quarter. Police are investigating, and there's dramatic new surveillance video that you're seeing showing the moment the shooting breaks out. Victor Oquendo is there in New Orleans with more. Good morning, Victor.
Good morning, Robin. Police have been poring over that surveillance, and they now believe the people responsible are from Louisiana, but somewhere outside New Orleans. And this all started with some kind of feud. Take a look at that surveillance. It appears someone pulls out a gun and starts firing. This happened right here behind us on the edge of the French Quarter, hours after a big football game. 10 victims total, 5 men, 5 women. The youngest victim, just 16 years old, all but one right now in stable condition. A weapon was recovered from the scene, but right now police have no idea where the shooter could be. There are no arrests in this case so far, and they continue asking the public to come forward with information. Michael?
All right, thank you so much for that. And now to the fallout from that bombshell new interview with Prince Andrew's accuser, Virginia Roberts Giuffre, detailing the night she says they met and what she was directed to do. James Longman is at Buckingham Palace with the reaction this morning. Good morning, James.
Yeah, good morning, Michael. This is a scandal that will not go away for Prince Andrew. He is once again front page news here. Virginia Roberts Giuffre has spoken before, but this is her first appearance on UK TV, and she's making a direct appeal to the British public.
This morning, all eyes on Buckingham Palace. Virginia Roberts Giuffre, who's claimed in court papers she was directed by Jeffrey Epstein to have sex with Prince Andrew several times, including twice while she was underage, asking the British people to hold the royal family to a higher standard.
I implore the citizens in the UK to stand up beside me, to help me fight this fight, to not accept this as being okay. This is not some sordid sex story. This is a story of being trafficked. This is a story of abuse. And this is a story of your guys' royalty.
Giuffre describing to the BBC the night she says she first met the prince. Andrew maintains he doesn't know her.
He is the most hideous dancer I've ever seen in my life. I mean, it was horrible, and this guy was sweating all over me.
There's a slight problem with the sweating because I have a peculiar medical condition, which is that I don't sweat, or I didn't sweat at the time.
Giuffre says she was directed to have sex with Prince Andrew by Ghislaine Maxwell, Epstein's former girlfriend, whom she's accused in court filings of grooming her to be a teenage sex slave. Maxwell has previously denied the allegations and has not been charged with any crime.
That made me sick. I just didn't expect it from royalty. I didn't expect it from someone that people look up to and admire, you know, in the royal family. It was a really scary time in my life. I had just been abused by a member of a royal family. I couldn't comprehend how in the highest levels of the government and powerful people were allowing this to happen, not only allowing it to happen, but participating in it.
Giuffre also blasting Andrew's suggestion that this now infamous photo of the two of them, which she says was taken by Epstein, was faked.
The people on the inside are going to keep coming up with these ridiculous excuses. He knows what happened. I know what happened. And there's only one of us telling the truth, and I know that's me.
Now, Prince Andrew has already been forced to step back from his royal duties after his own interview was so badly received. This appearance from Miss Roberts will not help him return to them anytime soon. Michael?
All right, thank you so much, James. George?
Okay, Mike, thanks. We're going to go to Chicago now, where the mayor has fired retiring police superintendent Eddie Johnson, saying he lied about an incident where he was found passed out in his car. Alex Perez is in Chicago with the latest. Good morning, Alex.
Hey, good morning, George. Until now, the mayor had always publicly supported Superintendent Johnson, but the evidence presented to her, she says, proved he wasn't telling the truth. This morning, Chicago's top cop out of a job, fired just days before he was set to retire after an inspector general report found what Mayor Lori Lightfoot calls a series of ethical lapses.
I am announcing that I terminated Eddie Johnson's employment as superintendent of the Chicago Police Department for cause effective immediately.
Lightfoot says the new report, which included video evidence, found Johnson lied after an incident in October when officers found him in a parked police vehicle asleep at the wheel.
He intentionally misled the people of Chicago, and he intentionally misled me.
At the time, during a press conference, Johnson claimed he had not taken his blood pressure medication. But on Monday, after reviewing his claims, the city's mayor decided to expedite his dismissal. And this morning, the Chicago Tribune reporting that the surveillance footage shows him drinking, quote, for a few hours prior to the incident with a woman who is not his wife. The mayor declined to be more specific about the videotaped evidence, hinting it could be hurtful to Johnson's family.
We require a leader whose actions reflect the virtues of integrity, honor, and legitimacy, the touchstones of what it takes to have the privilege of being a Chicago police officer.
Johnson in the spotlight earlier this year during the Jussie Smollett case, accusing the actor of lying to his officers. Chicago's violent crime rate dropped under Johnson. Last month, with the mayor by his side, he unexpectedly announced he was retiring. The mayor now regretting that appearance.
Had I known these facts at the time, I would have relieved him of his duties as superintendent then and there. I certainly would not have participated in a celebratory press conference to announce his retirement.
And former LA Police Chief Charlie Beck has now been appointed superintendent here in the interim. George?
Okay, Alex, thanks very much. Michael?
All right, we're going to turn now to something going on the football field. It's not the Saints.
Oh, all
right. But it is getting a lot of love, and not just because it solidified the lead for the Seattle Seahawks last night. Here you go, quarterback Russell Wilson threw a 75-yard laser to David Moore for the touchdown. And after the score, take a look at what happened next. Choreographed boy band dance. Apparently somebody was watching NSYNC in the team meetings and decided to bring it to the field.
Oh my goodness.
But it set social media into overdrive. The Seahawks won the game, beating the Vikings 37-30.
Bye earlier in the season.
Yeah, they've been watching NSYNC.
Oh gosh.
Spent a lot of time on that. We are following a lot of other stories this morning, including the growing battle between Gabrielle Union and America's Got Talent. We have the investigation into her claims she was fired after complaining about racism. Howard Stern is coming to her defense.
A lot of people rallying around her. And taking on porch pirates, the new ways people are fighting to keep their packages safe. But first, let's go back to Rob.
Good morning again, Robin. Still trying to get rid of that coast-to-coast storm that's been with us for a week in the east. Now another one is coming to the west. This one moving relatively slowly, and it is a little bit warmer, so we're not going to see the low snow levels like we saw last time, but heavy rain expected to come into Southern California later on tonight and into tomorrow morning. Could see 3 inches in some of these spots, maybe even some thunder and lightning, about a foot or more above 7,000 feet in the Sierras and the Wasatch. Time now for your Tuesday Trivia, brought to you by Capital One.
Capital One knows life doesn't update you about your credit card. So meet Eno, the Capital One assistant that catches things that might look wrong and helps you fix them. Another way Capital One is watching out for your money when you're not. What's in your wallet?
This morning, cold, so make sure you've got the gloves and the scarf this morning out the door, but sunglasses you'll have. Today is going to be bright, but your breeziest day of the work week, what's left of it. 47 degrees drop-off time for the kids. It's going to be chilly and definitely most of your wind through the early part of the day. Your Wednesday, the high 49 degrees, may have an early day flurry followed by a late sprinkle. Otherwise, most of this work week we're dry. 54 degrees, your high temperature on Friday. Pretty nice weekend. 43 Saturday. Hope to see it. Toys for Tots over in Arlington.
A lot of people get bummed out this time of year because the sun sets so early, but this is what happens. Some beautiful shots, a time lapse in Telluride, Colorado there, shot from the mountaintop looking down to the valley. Plus we have the Christmas lights that start to go on, so you know, shorter days, not such a bad thing. Right?
Good try. Good try, Rob.
Nice try indeed. All right, we'll be right back.
This is Apple Card, a new kind of credit card created by Apple, not a bank. With a better way to track where you spend, a new level of privacy and security. Daily cash you get back every day. And no fees, not even hidden ones. Oh, and if you happen to be